Hey everybody, it's Rob from Rob's Game Group. Welcome back to the channel. Got another video for you today. This is not a look at the book video, though I do plan to do a look at the book video on this particular book. It's an adventure anthology, and I'm doing a review specifically on one of the adventures in it that I ran last night. So, those of you who follow the channel or follow the Rob's Game Group on Facebook, you know that I do a Friday night kids game. And right now, and more often than not, it's basic fantasy. And the kids love playing basic fantasy. It's an easy system for them to get hold of and play and understand. And you know how I feel about it. I love basic fantasy. I've done plenty of videos on this in the past. But what I'm talking about today is an adventure that comes out of a basic fantasy book called Adventure Anthology 1. Adventure Anthology 1 is exactly what it sounds like. It's a collection of adventures that you can play in 1 to 2 sessions. The adventures that come in it are Gold in the Hills, Marilla's Magic Tower, Zombraire's Estate, Beneath Bryce Mason, Ruin of Darkfear Castle, Shepherds of Pineford, Death Crypt of Caldhoun, and Vault of Thier. And the adventure that I'm going to talk about today is the Shepherds of Pineford. So we've been playing this game with these characters for quite some time, and we have a lot of fun with it. But I've noticed that I write a lot of my own adventures for either my adult group or the kids group to play. And I sat down yesterday and I had to come up with last night's adventure. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I bought all these basic fantasy books when it first came out, and a lot of them are full of adventures. So let me just pull from that, do less work basically. So I grabbed all of them and I started flipping through them, and one of the adventures out of here caught my attention, and I was like, well, this sounds like a fun adventure, and it is. It's a blast. You could play this in 1 to 2 sessions with no problem. Pineford is a small village that could serve as a stop along the way easily for your group of adventurers, or it could work as a small home base, if you want them to be in a small village instead of a big city somewhere. And that's what I'm kind of doing with it. Because my kids are more interested in having a home base where they can shop and buy weapons and stuff, and then go out and adventure more and kill more stuff and take its stuff and all of that, and that's understandable. The Shepherds of Pineford was written by Jason Riley, I think is how it's pronounced. If I got that wrong, I apologize. It says, it's on page 29 of the book. It says, an ancient evil is stirring in the highlands above Pineford. At first it was just sheep that were disappearing, but now the town's only priest has been savagely killed just outside of the village. Pineford is desperate for someone to solve this mystery before more villagers share the same fate as the priest. It says it's for 2 to 4 characters of about 2nd level. Mine are a little bit higher than that, but I just adjusted and added a monster here and there when I needed to. It's a simplistic adventure. Try to show you the village of Pineford. There's a good map in here for it. So I printed this out, and this is a map of the village. I printed that out and gave a copy to the players. And as they're roaming around the village and exploring, everything is detailed in here as far as the houses, the inn, a blacksmith shop, so on and so forth. So it gives me or you a good place for your adventurers to mingle when they're not out, hunting monsters. It also has two other maps. One is the old temple that they're going to go to, and one is the lands just outside, the forest just outside of Pineford. And what has basically happened in this adventure is a long, long time ago, this lich came through the area, and he was being pursued by a group of adventurers. And he went deep into this forest to this ancient temple that was too, perverted and turned to evil. And he was trying to buy time and putting all these protective spells in place to protect him. But the adventurers got there first. They ended up slaying the lich and sacking the place and leaving. But all of the evil protection stuff that he had put in place has been there all these years, and it's kind of twisted and perverted the forest around it. And now there are, spoilers, there are things in the woods that are attacking the sheep as they're in the fields, and then the priest, he decides to go into the forest and see what it is. He doesn't make it very far. He's actually dead before the players show up. And the players show up in town, they learn about this, and the town is offering a reward for, hardy adventurers to go out and clear this evil from the forest, which is not overly long. The first encounter they have is with some plant life that has definitely taken on a life of its own. And then when they finally reach the ruins of the old temple, there is a what looks like a spell or ritual that had been started and just left because the lich was destroyed years previous to this. And as they do things, I don't want to give too much away, but as they do things, they cause themselves to be surrounded by a bunch of skeletons that are there guarding the temple, and they have to fight their way through that. And then there's some pretty cool treasure that they can find at the end that they can sell or keep or use, whatever. It's not overly complicated. It's a pretty standard, straightforward adventure. Hey, this bad thing happened. There's this evil over there. The adventure is that way. And you send them in. They fight some monsters. They find the temple. They fight some more monsters, gather some treasure, and then they can come back to town. And my party happens to be pretty broke at this point. So, and I mean money-wise, they're pretty broke. So getting some funds is a good thing. We enjoyed it. We had a good time with it. Like I said, it's not overly complicated. If you're looking for a great one-shot or maybe two-shot for your players to play through, this is a great adventure that it's only a few pages long. You could pull it out. You could read it in an afternoon easily and pre-plan everything and go ahead and run it that night. And it's fun. It's simplistic, but it's fun. And it's exactly what I was looking for my kids' game. There are plenty more of those type of adventures in this book and the Anthology 2. I have it. I have pretty much all their books at this point. But my point is, if you are looking for a quick, basic wilderness-style adventure for your players, you can't go wrong with Shepherds of Pineford. I really, really enjoyed running it. It was a lot of fun, and it definitely had that classic D&D feel to it. This book on Amazon is like $3.85, and it is 84 pages of 8 or 10 adventures, something like that, in here for like $4. That's another thing about Basic Fantasy. Their books are cheap. And I don't mean cheaply made. They're actually really well made. And they seem to hold up. I have both the softback and the hardback of the rule book. And you can run the game with just this. No problem. But when you can buy books full of adventures for, $3, $4, $5, why not do that and take the stress off yourself? I mean, how many times has it happened to any of us? You're coming up on game night and you've had a really busy week or some stuff has happened and oh man, you got nothing prepared. You got to grab some kind of adventure real quick and hope that you can, perform for your players. Or, part of your normal group can't make it that night. Maybe, real life gets in the way for all of us all the time. Maybe that happens and you have to, do some kind of side trek. These books are fantastic for that. And like I said, I'm not going to review the whole book right now. I am going to do a video where I talk about the book and a lot of the adventures in it, but this was mainly just on the Shepherds of Pineford, and how much I enjoyed running it for the kids last night. But they have a whole slew of these books. You can get them on Amazon is where I buy them because I like free shipping. But I think you can get them on Lulu, Drive-Thru RPG, all that stuff. You can also go to the Basic Fantasy website and download everything they have, even books that aren't in print yet. And they're free. The main rule book is free. So if you are looking for a fantasy, old D&D style RPG to play with your group, and you don't have a lot of money, you can get the paperback rule book for like $5.50. I think the hardback is like $12 or $13, something like that. $12 or $13 for a hardback rule book. I mean, that's fantastic. And then your supplement books are $3 to $5 a piece. You can't beat that. I mean, for less than a McDonald's lunch, you're set up and ready to go. And as people have been posting in the Basic Fantasy group this week, and I've posted on Rob's game group about this as well, you can go to the Dollar Tree or Dollar Store now and get role-playing dice for $1. Can't beat that. And I have some, and they roll pretty good. I've been using them for Frostgrave, and I used some last night for Basic Fantasy. I mean, $5 rule books, $1 dice. I mean, you're gaming for less than $10. You can't beat that. And the quality of these adventures is really, really good. I've read several of them. I've only run a couple of them. I ran one from Castle by the Sea, and I've run this one out of here, and I've read several of the other ones, but I've been very pleased with them. So if you get a chance, I highly suggest checking it out. Maybe the Village of Pineford or the Shepherds of Pineford is not really what you're looking for, but there are plenty of other adventures in here with a lot of different flavor, and I do suggest checking it out. They're really good books, and for the price point, man, you can't really beat that. You definitely can't go buy 5th Ed Adventures for that. But that's all I've really got on it today. I just wanted to jump on here real quick and make a video because I did run this game last night, and I really enjoyed... I knew I would enjoy the game itself, but I really enjoyed this adventure. It was a lot of fun to play, and even as I was running it, I was like, yeah, I need to do a video and let people know this is a fantastic one-shot. You could play this with your group in an afternoon or an evening, or if you're at a con before they shut those down again. This is a good one to use. So it gets the Rob stamp of approval, 100%. Check it out. If you like these videos or the other review videos that I do, I got a surprise for you. There's some stuff coming. I'm actually being sent some stuff from a couple of companies to review, so we got some exciting videos coming up on stuff like that. But if you like these kind of videos, or the game theory or the Rob Rambles videos or any of that, hey, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave comments down below. All of that helps circulate the videos and get more people into the community, and that helps me out a lot, and I appreciate it. If you'd like to communicate with me directly, you can find me on Facebook at Rob's Game Group. I'll put a link in the description below. And that's all I've got for right now. I got a Rifts game I'm playing in later today, so I gotta go get ready for that. But until next time, my friends, good gaming and good luck.